back. I'm not recording on my usual time because I wanted to work now. I didn't want to wait till 3:30. But I don't get a lot of people on the live anyway. But um I might replay it. We'll see. But I'm gonna start the transfer process. And I took a nice break. It is cooler in here. I think I've let the humidity down. I'm gonna open the window though, which might not help. I'm gonna open the blinds so I can have some more light so I can see what I'm doing. Um, Turn this light off back here. Okay, so I'm starting the transfer process on the Holy Trinity. I have my transfer paper on top of my linoleum, and then my draft image on top of that is right here. You can kind of faintly see the images. I have it taped down backwards because I realized when relief printing, your image will always come out reverse. So I'm working on another image, and because it's a portrait, I reversed it immediately because I flipped the image on my design software because I knew that it would print backwards. When I'm not working with human faces or words, I can forget that. And when I was learning this process, like I did the chakra symbols, I printed those backwards. There was another group project I did that was really large that had words. I printed that backwards. So I've gotten this lesson a few times, but every now I haven't worked in such a long time. I forgot. So I reversed it so it can print in the direction that I want to see this print on paper. When transferring, you should use a ballpoint pen or um, a nail art dotter tool. I think those dotter tools are used for other things, but I use them for nail art. I have some over here, but I'm not going to use it because I use it for nail art. And I like seeing a mark. So I usually try to use a red pen. But I don't have one today, but this black ink will work, especially since I'm working on the opposite side of the paper and the image I'm printing is red. So this is to make sure I can see what I printed. So I'm just going to have something in my ear and then I'm going to start the transfer process. I was in the middle of Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album. For some reason, I don't want to listen to the rest of it. So I might just listen to my work playlist because it gets me through the day. It is tried and true. When all else fails, just listen to gospel music. Any other music you like R&B, rock, soul, jazz, it's in gospel music. So if you don't know what album you want to listen to or what, I sometimes I wish I could just turn on the radio station, but I don't like the syndication format and how music is selected too much. But I miss just being able to turn on the radio and just listen to music. I used to listen to the radio all day, all day, all day, all night. But now I just listen to my playlist. I'm gonna need another light. Wow. Let me see if I have another. Oh, I forgot I broke my tripod. I'm gonna start on this one. I really need to go to one of those rec rooms one day. But in the meantime, some of my cheap decor will do the job. Mm-hmm. In the transfer process, especially if there's some overlap like I have here, I'm going to have to go back in and fill in. The purpose of this is proper planning and making sure that your image that you're composing fits on the paper and is balanced. Sometimes you have an idea, you work on a smaller sketch pad, or some people just go right in the larger canvas. Especially for me, being that this has multiple steps involved. This is how I was trained to do it. This is like what I like to continue to do. Because it's a way to, it's like measure twice, cut once. That's what my professor used to say. I can get all the kinks out. Like I made the original idea for this has changed as I manipulated on my design software. And that can happen. You find ways to make an image better as you go, especially a simple image like this. I know in painting, sometimes your color choices may change. Where you put something, certain elements may change. I've experienced that as well. And then you get deeper, the painting gets more and more layered and it becomes something better than you once expected. So every medium has its own process. But processes are still important. I love processes. Part of the reason why I keep choosing to do relief printing, not just because it's what I studied, but because I enjoy the process. The process is so relaxing to me. It is time consuming, but it helps silence all the other thoughts that we just don't need. Everybody needs something safe to do. Okay. I have some straight edges here that I'm just tracing with my freehand. I'm not using the straight edge because I'm going to carve it. I won't be able to use the straight edge while carving. So I might as well create a natural line. Because my carving tool is sharp, obviously, there's a higher chance of it being straight than with a ballpoint pen. I'm gonna check this side. because I'm finished with this tool, but I'm checking to make sure I got all the highlights I wanted. I think I did. Yep. No, that is over. This is for the curling iron. I finished with the curling iron. Next is this hot comb. The tried and true hot comb. Part of the other reason why I'm freehanding the straight edges is because they're not really even straight. I want some texture. I want it to look organic. I don't want it to look too straight. You know, any kind of work can cause you some pain. I used to love dancing, and sometimes my leg would be sore and everything. My job is very physical, and I come home sore. My calves and thighs be pulsating, and then my hands are cramping up a little bit. Any type of work, can cause some type of physical pain. I just work through what I can tolerate, and I rest. If I'm going to feel pain, I might as well do something I love, right? Mm. Working on the teeth of the comb now. I'm considering adding a hot comb to my styling tools. They got corded ones now. You don't have to use the stove. I see a lot of girls using for their wigs, but I'm thinking about using for my hair, just because like I love my process. Um, but I'm going back and forth at the end of my wash. Like, do I want to do the flat iron or do I want to do the hot comb? Because I don't straighten my hair. Like I just smooth it a little bit and then roll it up. But part of me is like wondering how it would look with my hot comb because that's what my grandmother did. She just hot combed her hair. And for the most part, her hair stayed curly. I just think if once I detangle my hair, the flat iron is not really giving me what I want. It does last a few days. I'm curious to see how long it will last with a hot comb. Okay, I need to get a little in here at a better angle. I think the hot comb will be better for frizz. Um, my products are pretty good. The products I use are pretty good for frizz. I just don't think I'm using enough heat, especially for it's better to do more heat, less passes than medium heat, more passes, and then having to do it again in a couple of days. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm also considering trying one of those blow dryers with comb teeth. I used to have a blow dryer with a comb attachment. I think my new blow dryer comes with a comb attachment. Actually, no, it doesn't. It didn't come with a comb attachment. But my blow dryer gets pretty hot. But I'm using a hooded dryer now. So that that leaves me where I left off. But we'll see. We'll see. My hot blow dryer, I really just use that for extensions. That's the reason why I bought it. To blow out my extensions, I needed high heat for my extensions. If you're going with extensions, you might as well use the heat. That's the whole point of extensions, to protect your hair. And if you want certain styles, you need high heat, which is why the Marcel tools work so well, especially if you use them with the stove. That is high heat. Should you be using them every day? No, 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 no. But they got the style done. If I do use the hot comb though, that will increase my time, my styling time, because you really do have to take your time. And I take my time with my flat iron. I usually watch a television show. Uh, okay, let me connect these teeth because it's not going to be clear when I pull this paper up. And I'm going to go over this with a marker anyway, just to make sure my draft is clean and clear. Then I have some highlights in the, let me see if I have some highlights in the handle of the hot comb. don't think so. No. Okay. Now I was worried it was going to take the longest. That actually didn't take too much time. Next is the flat iron. Okay. Old school pressing comb. I don't use it that often. Okay, this is where the carving line was a little too thin. So I made an adjustment there. I'm gonna keep my draft image up on my computer when I'm ready to do the highlights. So I can put a highlight there because I know I'm gonna still want to highlight there. And I'll just carve it using one of my tiny, tiny carving tools. It should still ink well. Okay, I need this closer to me. This part right here is thinner, so I'm just gonna make my markings a little wider. So in carving, it should still work. This is the handle of the flat iron. I added some highlights there. And these flat irons, some of them can have gold tips on the end of the handle. So I added that. But it is a little thin here. Oh, I forgot I made this textured. I'm gonna make it textured when carving. But for the sake of transferring, I'm gonna just make a line. Because that's not gonna like we able to see that too good. This side, I didn't write as many lines. I'm gonna carve in there too. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna have to carve in there and then draw it. All right. Let's see what I'm working with. I'm done. Oh, that's what I'm done. Okay. Hope I didn't lay too hard on this. I didn't hope I didn't put too much pressure on it while I was transferring. Then you just have a cloudy mess. It's a little cloudy on the edges. This looks pretty clean. And I'm so excited about that. What is such a pretty yellow car? People who get yellow cars, like, what is that about? I love them, but it's like, what made you? Nothing in me. I don't think would make me get a yellow car. I like. Where do you even find yellow cars? That's special. Okay. I never shall forget. Just put this down here now. Okay. The transfer process looks good. I'm gonna put it this way. You kind of see some of the where the graphite landed. For the most part, I traced everything. I'm gonna fill in some stuff based on my image. And I'm gonna go over at marker. Where's that marker I wanted to use? When I do this, I try to use a color that has like nothing to do with anything other than it's a contrast color. Yellow doesn't really show up well on this, so I'm gonna use these colors. Some people use blue. Some people, well, I'll go over that later. Actually, I'm not ready to do this next step yet. I need to take another break